Hi. Oh man, my name is Brad, and I'm really awesome. No, honestly, my name is Brad, and I'm super nervous because this is a room full of. I mean, if the world were a Twinkie, this would be the cream filling. Yeah. Look at you. I got to meet some of you at the hotel earlier. There's a group. Is anybody here from Texas? Oh yeah. Yeah. Hi. I met some of you. Hi. That's me on the screen. And I also got to meet. I'm from the great state of Tennessee. Yes. From a town about the size of this arena. And this blows my mind, and I really, truly am honored. Growing up, my mom always said to start with the question every day of what good can I do? And I think today, hopefully, what I can do is I get to talk to some of the greatest people on the planet, some true world changers, some amazing people who are making a difference right where they are. And if I had my way, like I would be in the audience, I'd be the only one, and it'd just be all of you up here, and you'd be like telling me stories about all the cool things you're doing. But that's not how conferences work. So I'm gonna have to talk, and my hope is that I can say something that will hopefully encourage you to go back and be who you are, which is awesome. So I begin with a story, a really awesome story, and that's the title page of the story. I drew it, and it's special. But this is a story of a group of once upon a time, a group of incredible people at an FFA convention, and there, in front of them was a pale man they'd never heard of. Normally I wear a hat. But some of them had heard of a series of videos he had made called Kid President. I heard cowbell. Thank you. Oh, wow. You know you're doing great when you get cowbell. Kid President is a series that I started with my little brother-in-law, and it's been incredible. He and I have always made things together, but we never imagined that millions of other people would see them. In fact, this has turned into something that was just a little family project that has grown into a movement, and it's something I'm still scratching my head about. Here's a little bit of what we've been up to.
Kid President is the quintessential ambassador of joy. He is that beacon of light on the internet that calls everyone from far and wide to come along for the ride.
I think we all need pep talk.
First video we put online had no agenda other than to make it happy. It was just this kid saying, I've got something to say, be nice, I'm out, and he dances. I call it like a hand grenade of happiness.
What's happening on the internet is people are finally voicing that they want positivity, they want happiness, they want to feel optimistic about the future, and they want to connect with other hearts and minds.
So we made this video, and I basically wrote it for myself. It was just, everything can be awesome. Like, don't stop believing unless your dream is stupid. So it was funny, but at the same time, it had this spirit of keep going. Things can be better.
We can use the internet as this platform for meaningful conversations and uplift and create connections between human beings.
And that's what Soul Pancake's done.
All human beings crave these conversations. Regardless of gender, regardless of what your background is, as a human being, you want to talk about that.
We felt this responsibility, like, let's make these, but let's make them matter, and let's actually talk about things that every person needs to hear, not just every kid, but the kid inside of every person. Everybody needs to hear this.
And this is something Kid President says all the time, but if everybody treated the people around them like their neighbors, then we would all be taking care of everyone around us.
You're such a bro.
that's a video that Coca-Cola made to show during the Super Bowl this past year. Yeah. Yeah, I can barely eat with a fork. And they made that video with celebrating something that my little brother-in-law and I made. I've been working for several years making different things. And tonight I made a talk, and I titled it really great. It's my FFA talk. And then my wife said that was too elementary, so I added a subtitle, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Internet. And then they said that was too long, so I just called it Amplify Good. Yeah. I thought that was a good title, but then on the way here I got nervous and just decided what's something that would be even cooler. And so the name of my talk is Airbud 17. Yeah. So this number here, there are nearly 3 billion people in the world under the age of 20. Yeah. And I look at that number, some people look at that number and get incredibly nervous because that number could rise up and take over. But I look at that number and am like filled with so much hope because I've met people like you. And I know, my wife and I even started a camp several years back. It was all about taking young people, learning from them, and helping provide them with mentors where they could go and do good in their neighborhoods. And in fact, just a few years back, I was one of those people under the age of 20. And this was me. I was a high schooler, just alone in my room making videos about poetry, about girls who wouldn't call me back, songs about cats. Yeah, and thank goodness YouTube did not exist yet, because those would be online. Now, so I was always making videos, but had no clue what to do with this thing that I loved doing. I grew up on a farm, and yeah, I grew up on a cotton farm in the middle of West Tennessee, and ow, yeah, I hear you. And it was like this great childhood, and I loved being there and doing that. And then I grew into this man who humiliates everyone he's around all the time. That's my little brother-in-law, and he's constantly trying to teach me to dance, and that's the only move I know, and it's this one. And BuzzFeed made it into a GIF/GIF. And I had no, he said it wrong. I had no clue that kid who grew up in a town the size of this arena would then be able to make something that we've now made over 100 videos that total adds up to almost 1 billion views. We made this one video here in the middle of a time when I was struggling with confidence, struggling with depression. And I just basically wanted to make something that was positive and hopeful. So I wrote this video, this thing that was a pep talk. And I thought this was going to be one of our last videos we would make together because the election had just ended. And I was kind of like, why would anybody want to watch a video about a little president? I'm going to go on and make something else. And I wanted to make this really encouraging video. And then just like 2 days later, it had millions of views. We ended up finding out that President Obama watched the video, that Oprah watched the video, like Justin Timberlake shared it. Like it was this crazy thing. And all these people, like people were sending us emails like, I watched your video and I quit my job. I was like, no, don't do that. It was a video. Like I did not know that it would unlock those doors for people. And yet there's something that happens when you put your voice out there where people hear it and they hear what they need to hear. I'm familiar with this desk now, but right after college, I started a talk show that I hosted out of a bagel shop in our town. And it was a no-budget talk show, and this is one of my greatest interviews ever with a crazy pet lady. And it was in our local town. There was like maybe 10 people who watched them, and it was like this show, and I was like, why am I making this thing? And it was basically my grad school. I was constantly making these videos and learning how to write, edit, direct, put something out into the world. But each episode was just sort of there. Like there wasn't any meaning behind them. It was just me talking to people in a bagel shop in my town. So I've since been on a quest to create things that have meaning and that matter. And finding out remembering that there were so many people in my life who helped me make choices to become who I am now, I've since wanted to be the grown-up I needed when I was a kid. And tonight I want to share with you this idea of choices. If you want to amplify good, which is what you guys do, you make certain choices that do that. And so I make these videos, and one of the things that you do in video making is I film like hours of stuff, and then I edit the best stuff together. And so I usually write a script, but then because my collaborator is a child, like some of the best stuff is just things he comes up with. And this is something I found recently in cleaning out a hard drive. This is a deleted clip from a video. We were making a video about moms, to encourage moms. And I asked him, hey, what would you want to say to moms? Just go. And this is, well, you'll see why I deleted it.
Moms, keep doing what you're doing. Moms, keep shaking your booty. Just a little worker. You just got to shake that tail that your other mama gave you. Yeah, shake your tails. Now keep working what you're doing. Keep what you're doing. Do what you're doing. Clean up my house and clean up my poop. Yeah, clean up my house. Do what you're doing. Clean up my house, clean up my poop. Yeah.
That's enough. Yeah. So one of the things I've had to learn is to go back to thinking like a child. Like there was a time when I was younger, like I was full of this joy and this spontaneity, and working with Robbie has helped do that. Becoming a dad has helped do that. I have 2 kids of my own. I have Robbie. I have his sister. We have we're surrounded by these kids, and so they're constantly reminding me what it means to be awesome. And one of the things is it's all about choosing. So for you tonight, I want to share with you some things that have helped me make choices. And the first one is to choose awesome. You have a choice every day to choose between being what Kid President calls as boring or being awesome. We share a lot of ideas about that. One of the things is to treat everybody like it's their birthday. And that's been one of these recurring things we constantly talk about, how to treat everybody like it's their birthday. What can we do to make everybody feel like they're somebody? And so we talk a lot about that, but then it's forced us to actually have to do that. So when we go places like, oh no, Robbie, like you have to be nice to people. You have to like actually treat people like it's their birthday. So he tries really hard, but then we end up working with Tom Hanks, and he says his name wrong and calls him Tim Honks. But his heart's in the right place. But we found online, like a lot of times the internet gets a bad rap for being a dark place. But the average person says 16,000 words a day. Yeah. Some of you are like, you have not met my mom. You have not met my sister. 16,000 words. And you have a choice with every single combination of words, of prepositions, adjectives, adverbs, whatever you want to do. How are you going to combine those words to say something meaningful? What are you going to do and say? And so a lot of people on Twitter, you only have 140 characters. What are you going to do? Combine your words to say something to the world. You could say something mean. You could say something meaningful. And so sometimes, most of the time, our community online is super positive. but sometimes there's people who pop up and they say something. And so I've had to take a chance and hug the haters. And so sometimes people will say things like, this is a guy who was going on and on about how much he didn't like Kid President. And so we started this thing way back where we would tell our community online, hey, so-and-so's having a bad day. Just cheer them up. And so they would like attack these people with love. And this was a guy who just kept going and going and going. I had pages and pages of this conversation. And so finally I just took a picture of Robbie and I holding corn dogs saying, we love you, Tim. And then his friends even got in on it and started being like, Tim, what are you doing? Like, we know him. He's really a nice guy. We don't know what's going on with him. And then finally, he wrote us back and said, you win. I'm sorry. And then now he follows us, and he, like, is one of our biggest supporters. All because of a picture with corn dogs. But haters gonna hate, huggers gonna hug, you know? It's just like, that's how it is. So you have this path. You can choose awesome or you can choose not awesome. I'm in this room because there are grown-ups in my life, there are people in my life who chose awesome. There are people who took time to tell me that I mattered, that my story was important. My fourth grade teacher is one of those people. Yeah, check out those legs. Yeah, if you got it, you know, if you got it, flaunt it. So I was not the best student. I was a very creative student, which means that if I didn't know the answer, I would make up something really, really fascinating or draw a picture and tell my teacher how great she was or something like that. And so my teacher, my fourth grade teacher, instead of looking at my drawings on the back of tests and saying like, you're terrible, why are you doing this? Put some pants on, kid. Instead, she said, hey, these are really interesting. Like, these are actually quite good. And you know what? I think your stories are so neat and your drawings are so interesting that what if we mailed those to the Walt Disney Company? I was like, me? And so she helped me pack up some drawings I did. I went home and got a cassette and a recorder and began recording like me telling different stories. And I mailed comics and stuff. She helped me mail this to the Walt Disney Company. It was several months later, and I totally had forgotten this would happen. And in my mailbox was a letter written to me with a return address, and it had Mickey Mouse on it. It said Walt Disney Feature Animation. I don't remember walking back to my house. I'm pretty sure I flew because I was just so like, what is this? And then I went inside and I was like, Ma. She's like, what is wrong with you, child? Put pants on. I was like, no, Ma. And so we opened the letter up, and inside was this letter from Walt Disney Feature Animation saying they'd received my package. And it said, due to legal reasons, we cannot accept unsolicited material. Yeah. So you're saying there's a chance. Like, that was my whole thing. Yes, they like me. This is gonna be great, Mom. I'm gonna be a star. Seriously, I thought, like, it was the kindest breakup letter ever. But I was just like, oh, this is great. But there was a handwritten piece in the corner. This is it. It said, thanks for making our day. Keep sharing your voice. There's probably some interns, probably some guy. He didn't have to do that. But this note carried me through fourth grade, fifth grade, and on because someone told me to keep sharing my voice. And bigger than that, my fourth grade teacher told me my voice mattered enough, that my creativity was not purposeless, that I could use it to do some good, that this weird, pale, redheaded kid actually mattered. And so last year I got to work with Sesame Street, which was a dream for me, and I texted her this picture, and I said, this is all your fault. Thank you for listening to me. Tonight, I want to remind you that you are so powerful. You. And you might be thinking like, oh, I'm just a dude from wherever. I'm just like a girl from here. I'm from a really podunk town. Like, you don't understand. Like, our FFA thing's not this much. We can't do anything. But I'm talking to you. You have great power to choose awesome. To let some person know right now that their voice matters, that they matter, that their life matters. So choose awesome and choose people. You can choose awesome over boring, and you can choose people over things. There's lots of stuff that's unimportant, and a lot of times we get distracted by that. And one of the things I've been reminded is that these numbers on YouTube are not numbers. Like, these numbers to us are little heartbeats, are people with real problems, with real situations, with real possibilities. And so we're like, okay, our lives are, let's invite everybody to the party. Like, let's invite everybody to this party. That's something Robbie's taught me. Like, I don't know if you remember having a party when you were a kid. It wasn't like, I don't know if I'm going to invite this guy. I don't know if I'm going to invite her. It's like, oh, no, I'm going to invite my dentist, my dental hygienist, the lady at the bank, that dude down the street, that cat. Like, it's like anybody. You're going to invite them to your birthday party. You're just going to invite them to the party. And one of the things I've seen, like, in traveling with Robbie, is he's a kid. So it's like everybody is his friend already. Everybody's like, oh, come on. And so we're like, okay, we're making these videos. Let's not make it just about us. Let's invite people to the party. And so we found different ways to do that. So we decided the first thing we did was let's have a big dance party. So we asked people to send us videos of them dancing. People from all over sent us videos of them dancing, and we're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Like, we're having this huge dance party. Like, people are part of it. So then we said, what about laughing? Laughing's contagious. The internet's a dark place. What if we just like made this world where people are laughing, and we could have this chain effect where people are laughing everywhere? So people sent us videos like this. That's my favorite one, because do you remember a time when having things dropped on you was hilarious? Oh, I love that so much. And I was like, this is the best. Like, this is truly contagious. And so we're like, let's do it again. Let's do it with corn dogs. So in a video, I had Robbie say to just tell people to mail your friend a corn dog, like if they're having a bad day. And so here's what happened. It turned into this corn dog revolution, and people all were sending us photos. People were, and actually, it's quite disgusting. We realized it's actually a terrible idea, but our hearts were in the right place. But it turned into this corn dog revolution, and even to this day, like we get packages in the mail all the time of soggy corn dogs, like. And so much that we've had to tweet out like to people like, please stop. This is a health hazard. And they were like, okay, all that was well and good, and it's funny, and we've had fun, but what if we could do something truly awesome? And tomorrow actually marks the last day of it for this year, but this is our 5th year of doing this, of Socktober. The idea was, how can I get my community to serve the homeless in a way that isn't like, oh, this is so sad, or guilt people into it, but actually like, hey, this is a really cool opportunity. It's about to be winter. Let's step up and do something for our local shelters. And so the first year, it was just people like at churches and schools in our county in Tennessee. And then the second year, it grew and grew to a little bit more to different schools. And then when we launched Kid President, we had Kid President announce, hey, it's October, and then it went nuts. This year already, over 2 million people have taken part in it. And it turned into something like this.
So first graders at Van Horn Elementary School are collecting stocks during the month of October, which has now been dubbed Stocktober, because we got the idea from a popular video series called Kid President.
This is crazy. We're collecting sacks of the homeless. Hi, Kid President. Mom and I just packed a box for the shelter. Did you know it's October? The world is changed by more people like me and you.
So this year, in this image, there's a young boy here who gave up his birthday and asked for no presents, instead asked for items for his shelter. Schools were doing it. And last year it started this, and this year we can say that it happened again, that every single continent, there was this October drive. There aren't words for that kind of feeling. I was on an airplane, and some people recognized like what we're doing. They were talking about like, oh, I love Kid President. He's like, I haven't heard of that, but my girls do something you guys would like. You guys care about kids, right? And I was like, yeah. And it's like, my girls are doing this thing at their school where they collect socks for the homeless. It's called Socktober. You guys should look into it. And I just sat there with the biggest grin, like, oh, I'll check it out. It was the coolest thing. Like, this had grown into something bigger than us. There's no prize, there's no incentive other than it's awesome, then it helps other human beings. And it grew bigger where they don't even know where it came from. They don't have to know. They just have to know there's a way to help people. So take a chance with what you have. We don't have a lot of money. This is not like something we have a big budget. We have a can phone and string, and yet it's connected to everyone from the president to Tim Honks. It's like whatever you have, just use it and do some good. Like we did this thing. Robbie really wanted to do a video with Beyonce. So what do we have? Dinosaur chicken nuggets. And so we made a video of what it might be like if we did a video with Beyonce.
Oh, hi. I'm Beyonce. Hi. I'm Kid President. It's so cool we're in a video together. I know. I've been waiting for you to ask me, Kid President. Let's make the world better.
So yeah, and then there's like a long series of them kissing, and I had to discuss. And so I went on Beyonce.com and emailed every address I could find and sent them this video, and then we got a response and a phone call, and then we ended up shooting this video. and then I heard from the United Nations, like the world. And they said, hey, how did you get in touch with Beyonce? We've been trying to get her to help us with this campaign. And I was like, well, I went to Beyonce.com and I got some dinosaur chicken nuggets. So good luck with that. The power of chicken nuggets. Yeah. Write that down. And the last thing, choose awesome over boring, choose people over things, and choose joy. It's a thing you don't have to teach babies, even having socks dropped on them, they're giggling. You don't have to like tell them. Joy is something that they just have. And something we talk about in our family is that what we do is a joyful rebellion. We are little joy rebels. So like usually a rebellion is fueled by anger, and it's defined by lots of people yelling and typing in all caps and throwing tea and large bodies of water and like shooting Death Stars or whatever. But this rebellion is fueled by joy. And I suspect it's the same thing that fuels you in your work. It's a joyful vision for how things could be. You're not full of anger for how things are. Instead, you're like, oh, but imagine what could be. And that is what drives our ship. And I tonight know I'm in a room full of other little joy rebels, other people who are joyfully rebelling against how things are and creating the world as it should be. Now I mentioned this comes very easy to Robbie, but it's also kind of hard for myself because I get a little down on myself. We got invited to a fancy dinner. It's the White House press correspondence dinner thing, and there's all these people. You can't see in this terrible thing. This is a video I'm going to show you, but behind me is Jeff Goldblum. There's all these other, like Barbara Walters is the table next to me, and I fell down. I fell down on my face, fell down. And I was so embarrassed, mortified. Jeff Goldblum's like, oh, sorry, buddy. And I'm like, oh, no. And this is Robbie's response. Laughter. Complete laughter, constant laughter, so much that other people began laughing too. And I went home crying. But a lot of people see the videos, they see him dancing and saying, it's everybody's duty to give the world a reason to dance. He's laughing and smiling and giggling. But what a lot of people don't realize is that this kid who gave a pep talk is a kid who actually really needed a pep talk. He is a normal kid, yet he has a bone condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, which is commonly referred to as brittle bone condition. So he's had over 70 broken bones in his life. He's had several surgeries. Kid has rods in both of his legs. I remember a time when he was very young, and in the bottom corner you can see he's in what's called a spica cast, and he could not move. He could not move his legs. I went to the hospital to visit him in the top corner there. I was super nervous. This was one of the first major breaks he had. We were incredibly frightened. And I went in like, okay, be tough, be the tough, bigger brother. Go in there and make him happy. And I go in, and he had this little toy that played Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. He pushes a button on it and began dancing with his head and looked at me. And now, granted, he was probably on medication, but in retrospect, that was, no, but he was using whatever he could to dance. And I'm constantly reminded that is true joyful rebellion against how things are. His sister, who's a year older, has the same condition, and she was told by doctors she would not walk. And what I think is beautiful is that she not only walks, but she dances. And she is a ballerina. The kids have every single reason to complain, and so whenever I'm having a headache, I fall down at a fancy dinner, I'm not going to complain because I've seen what it's like to overcome and not let the challenges define you, but instead to choose awesome, because life is too short to not choose joy. I was so excited to come here today, because for a lot of reasons, but because I feel like this is a room. I said at the beginning, it's like if the world were a Twinkie, this would be a cream filling. But I'm not joking when I say this is a room, an epicenter of hope. This is a room full of people who can go back and change not only their street, not make every single room they enter brighter, who can make this entire world a brighter place. You saw it light up. Driving here, my car broke down, and I had to get someone to take me to a rental car place. My car's on the side of the road somewhere, and I drove a rental car here and got here. And I found out, I got a call on the way here too, that one of my friends had passed away. And it has been one of those emotional days. And yet right now, I feel nothing but complete hope for the future because of you. I mentioned talking to some students in the lobby of the hotel, and they were telling me about a community garden they set up. Were telling me stories of families who couldn't afford to pay their electric bill, and yet they were able to give them meals. There's a million other stories, I'm sure. It's everybody's duty to give the world a reason to dance, and that's exactly what you're doing. I want to thank you for giving the world not only reasons to dance, but reasons. You're choosing awesome, you're choosing people, and you're going to make a difference just by being who you are. Once upon a time, there was a room full of people, and standing in front of them was a pale, weird man they had never met before. But out of the kindness of their hearts, they just gave him a standing ovation. And that was in my slide, and you already did it. So it's anticlimactic. Classic Brad. But I want to tell you. Good, so thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So awkward. Thank you.
Mr. Montague, you rock. Thank you so much.
Thank you. They're only making it more awkward. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.